Benfiquista, é onde o sonho se conquista. O bem e o Benfica, unidos na voz. Aqui somos muitos, mas sentimos como um só. O Cantinho Benfiquista, é onde o sonho se conquista. O bem e o Benfica, unidos na voz. Aqui somos muitos, mas sentimos como um só.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to episode 226 of the Cantinho Benfiquista podcast. Better late than never. As always, I am your host. I am joined by Kenny and I am joined by Oscar. I'm not going to introduce the other person twice and ignore you this time, Oscar. So welcome, Oscar. Welcome, Kenny. I'll go right to left this time so you don't feel left out. Oscar, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Another struggling week, but I'm good.
Kenny, welcome back. How are you?
What's going on, boys? Happy to be back. Talking about our beloved Benfica, of course.
Yep. Another roller coaster of 90 plus minutes. We'll get into that. We'll talk about some individual performances. We'll talk about Ivanovic comes in and makes an impact again after he got the assist against Porto last week. We've got a look ahead at the Vitória game this weekend. We're still in the race for second place. So there's a variety of different things. We've got some referee decisions that we can also touch on, get your thoughts on. So for those of you who are tuning in, as always, feel free to leave us your comments, your thoughts, your feedback, whatever platform you're on. Let us know you're watching. Let us know what you're thinking. It's a venting session, so feel free to join us. We're on all the platforms. Don't forget to follow, like, share, subscribe, do all those fun things for us. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Para quem está a ver em português, sintam-se à vontade de participar aqui nesta nossa conversa. Todos falamos português, por isso podem deixar os vossos comentários em português, não têm que deixar em inglês, e podemos abordar as vossas questões e os vossos comentários. Let's get right into it. So we've got Aroca Benfica, a game that we anticipated to be a little bit tricky. Starting 11, again, I think essentially picks itself. Benfica started with Trubin in the back four of Ba, which I guess replaced Dedic, gave him a break. Araújo, Antonio Silva, and Dal. Otamendi was injured. Barreiro and Rios in the midfield. Enzo was injured, and Auschnitz is injured. We've got Luka Bacchio came in on the right-hand side for Prestiani, which we talked about last week in terms of assists and contributing to goals. And ironically enough, he catches the bench the following game. Rafa Silva, of course, in behind Pavlidis and Sheldrup on the left. Oscar, I'll start with you. Surprises in the 11, considering the injuries, and what were your thoughts on the game? And just quickly, Rui says, you guys are killing me. I'm going to be going to bed in a few. Dude, take a Red Bull. We're also waiting for you to join us. You said you wanted to join us and share your thoughts, so we're waiting for that day. So you just let me know.
A good opportunity today, man. Join in.
He saw you and he was like, no, I don't want to battle with Oscar live on the podcast, so I'll skip for next week. But go ahead. What were your thoughts?
I mean, looking at the game, the starting 11, it doesn't surprise me to knowing what we have available, right? So like we talked about last week, Prestiani is the one that's kind of hasn't convinced, hasn't. A winger is supposed to give us a little bit more goal, more of an assist, and he hasn't done that. And Luka Bacchio came in very well the previous game, and so I figured he would be the person to start. That turned out to be true. He was the only person that actually came in and started from the players we had available. So I thought no surprises there. Regarding the game, again, we start off with our first half, which is just, I don't get it. I don't get it why we can't, on a game like today, like where we needed to come, this weekend, where we need to come in strong and just take it to them. We basically came up first half, almost gave it to them. And then we conceded that penalty kick, which I don't even know the rules anymore when it comes to
That's true.
I really
no
don't.
Consistency, I think, is the issue.
So if somebody has the arm up, but the ball's close by, it's a PK. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes if the elbow is out too much, it's a PK. Like I don't know the rules anymore. I really wish there was somebody, some kind of like a guide that says, okay, this is a PK, this is not a PK, because I see the same calls called and not called. So I just don't know. So we basically that we gave him that goal, and then we were with a lot of possession, but Oroka could have easily put the game away in the first half. Like easily could have put the game away. They had a few chances that could have easily put the game away, and then would have been like 2-3-0 at half, and we would have been like done, right? So second half comes, and they could have scored right in the first minute of the second half. They had a clear chance to score, and they missed it. And then we came up and we scored in the 50th minute. Like, you know, I don't even know if those 27 million are penning out right now with the one goal that he scores every 6 months. But, you know, Rios had the header, and I'm happy for him. And then struggle again until the end of the game. We had a lot of possession, but really didn't do much with it, which is frustrating. We had a few half chances. You know, Lukavakio had one. Sheldrup had another one where they came by the post. The goalie had a good save, but Aroca has the chances as well. So, like, it's just frustrating to watch this team play. And then Ivanovic comes in and he scores that winner in the last minute of the game. It feels like Aroca against the top three teams, Sporting, Porto, and Benfica, they lost all their games, and after the 90th minute.
At the end, yeah.
Aroca's game against Porto was the PK that came from, like, God just gave it to them. Sporting was a 96-minute goal as well, and Benfica is a 96-minute goal. And then there was a PK that was not called in our favor, which
correct. I guess probably these.
Yeah. So that is just, we just need to you know, it was just too close for this game. The game should have been a game that we you know, took it to them and won easier. But I mean, a win is a win, and I'm glad we're winning the 96th minute, not tying it.
It's true. Kenny, just quickly on the stats here. Oscar talks about dominance, right? I mean, we had 60% possession against 40. We had 22 shots, 5 on target versus 12 of theirs, 6 on target. We had 15 corners against 2, which is absolutely astonishing. And I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on this. 83% efficiency of pass, 13 defensive actions in their midfield versus their 8, 11 fouls committed versus 17 for Aroca. I know that you only got a chance to kind of see the second half. There wasn't much to see in the first half, but just wanted to get your thoughts on what you did see. The second half is probably the most of the action that there was in the game. But, and I'll open this up to Oscar too after, is a team that has 15 corner kicks, right? I know we scored from one eventually, and Rios's was, and I think it was more terrible defending because he didn't even jump.
Yeah,
he was at the edge of the 6 and just heads it. So I think in that case, I think it's more poor defense from Aroca than it is well designed by Benfica.
There's no design.
But the fact that you got 15 corner kicks, and apart from that goal, I don't remember us creating danger from a corner kick other than that goal, right? So, like, what the hell? It's almost like we just put it in the box and just hope someone gets to the end of it. But tell me what you think about what you saw and kind of the whole corner kick. Like, you can't have 15 corner kicks, a team like Benfica at this level, and not create problems for the opposition.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know, like, out of those corner kicks, what actually, like, were there any of them like really a shot on net or a defense or anything, or was it just a blown opportunity? Because I agree with Oscar. Like, the stat line looks really good, but it didn't feel like that watching the game. I did only catch really most of the second half in a game where, I mean, Oscar summed it. I mean, I agree with him 100%. I mean, a game where we had our chances in the second half, but so did Aroca. Like, they could have easily have put the game away with as little of opportunities as they had. They were you know, good opportunities to have scored. I think, you know, I'm at this point, like, kind of numb to Benfica and their performances. Like, to me, I'm not surprised anymore. I just don't think the team is built right. I don't think we create, even though again it looks like we create a lot of opportunities, but I don't feel like they're true opportunities. They're just getting ball on the net with no real like threat.
Yeah, I mean, we had 22 shots, but only 5 of them were on target, and we had a 2.1 goal expected goals versus Aroca's 2.6 expected goals. Again, I don't know if I really like the whole expected goals algorithm and kind of what the output of that is. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it, but if we're just going to look at stats, they had a 2.6 versus ours 2.1 with almost half the shots, one more on target. So their efficiency in terms of hitting the target was better than ours with almost half the shots.
Yeah.
And I feel like our opportunities came from individual play. Like we had Luka Bakiu or Sheldrup faking guys and shooting coming up from outside and shooting. Like not team opportunities. That's what we're missing is creating team opportunities. Like back when I hate bringing them up, but when Roger Schmidt was when at the high of Roger Schmidt's term, like when we beat Juventus, we're up 4-2 against Juventus, whatever it was. The tiki-taka that we were playing, that we don't create that anymore. That's gone. We don't create like as a team. We create individually because we have some wingers that can actually cause some problems, and that's the opportunities we create.
Correct.
And again, I've been very critical of the Greek Pavlidis, but like he's not an aerial threat. I mean, the ball's going in, he's not getting. I don't think in the second half that I saw, most of the corner kicks, crosses that were going in, I don't think Pavlidis got a header on any of them. And then the minute the kid came in, like in the last, I don't know what, 5-10 minutes.
No, like if Ivanovic came in 73rd or 74th.
It wasn't. No, it was
Anísio. He got to a header on a cross.
On two crosses, two immediate corner kicks. He got a header on both of them.
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry, but like as Pavlidis being the main striker, and he has the size. He's just not an aerial threat. So
correct.
So there's no threat there from the air. So you have to go on the ground, and we get blocked up against little teams against these type of teams where they close up. We just struggle constantly. We have no way of getting through and creating real threatening opportunities. And we just get stuck, and we've talked about it, right? We circle the ball and don't do anything with it. Again, I'm like numb to it. This season to me has been just a throwaway. I've kind of been out of it for quite some time now because I don't believe in them. I don't think they're impressive. The team's not built right. There's just a lot of mistakes made this year with the squad.
And another thing I noticed is like, last year's team, we had the Coxus, that somebody that can open up the field, like on the midfield, like they can. Even though we criticized Coxu pretty much.
Yeah.
I was one. We didn't. We had a guy that could open up the field, could do the through pass. We don't have that now. Sudakov was probably the only closest guy to that, and he's not.
Took him out.
So Rafa took that place, but Rafa's not that player. Rafa's a player that gets that through ball, not the guy doing the through balls. So to me, we need that player in the midfield, and he can't expect Barreiros or Rios because they're not that type of player. They're not the players to break the defense and they're just not. They don't have, I have to still figure out what Rios is, to be honest with you, and Enzo.
Yeah,
but then they're not that player that can break the defense like that.
And I agree, and it touches on I'm glad you brought up Rafa and Sudakov because I had a point here, and it's a question for you because I know you're a big defender of Rafa. But I'll start with this one. Rui says, Rios and Barrenechea, I really think it's tactical, not technical. For some reason, they're never positioned very well on the field. This is definitely a classroom video issue for Mourinho as a teaching moment. We've gone back and forth about, I would say, mostly Rios, other than Enzo. I think we touched on it briefly the last podcast or the week before that, where again, they're two different types of players. Rios is going to give you more muscle, more physicality. He's going to battle more plays. He's better with the ball at his feet to help you come out from the back. But he's not that player that's going to play a 30, 40-yard pass. He's not going to, play a vertical pass like a Tarapt would, which would break lines, or a Sudakov, or, any other attacking midfielder. That's not his profile. Enzo, on the other hand, is more of I'm going to help you play out from the back, first line of defense. But he doesn't, if you watch him, he doesn't he's slow off the ball. His his ability to occupy space without the ball isn't as good as Auschwitz, for example. Auschwitz is good with the ball at his feet. He can help you construct from the back in the first phase or the second phase. And his occupying space without the ball, his anticipation of knowing where to be, that's half the battle, right? Because now you have to run less, right? Opposed to you chasing, you're occupying that space, you're anticipating those plays. And I think those are two issues that both of them have.
Weren't we
Rui
better
says-
off? Don't you think we were better off with last year the kid playing? Oh my God, I can't remember his name. Tino, yeah. Don't you think we were better off
as a 6? Correct. He's definitely, and I think we talked about that last year. Is he's statistically, and it proved, right, breaking up play and recovering balls was his bread and butter. I think at one point he was like the leader in the Champions League of recoveries.
Mm-hmm.
What everyone's gripe was, mine included, was when he got that ball, he didn't really know what to do with it, is what killed us.
And we're still in that.
Correct. Now we're in a different problem where now we have an Enzo and a Rios that can drop into that first phase of creation, but neither of them are that recovery guy. Right. So
I feel like Rio gets beat off the ball easy.
Correct, because he's not a guy that's going to be chasing. That's the thing is, and I was going to ask you guys, do you guys agree with Rui here, where it seems more tactical than technical in the sense of, I think they've both shown us that they have qualities, different qualities in each, but the fact that like you're not in the right positions, you're not occupying the right space without the ball, like. Do you guys feel that it's a tactical thing versus a technical thing, or do you not see it that way?
I would say that if they were 19 years old, but they're not.
Fair.
All right.
I mean,
if
they're
they were
24 and 25.
They should be in the prime, right? This 25 years old is their prime age, right? So if they're 19 years old, yeah, there's a lot to learn. There's a lot of video to watch. You can learn from your mistakes. When you're 25, if you haven't learned how to, like, especially place yourself in the field to be occupy space the right way, then either you have it or you don't have it, right? Yeah. So that's my thing about Rios and Enzo. You have it or you don't have it at this age.
Okay. Yeah, I do agree to an extent, because like when I heard of Rios coming in, I thought he was going to be that Tino replacement where he was going to recover balls, hold up play, be able to like give that ball out, and he just hasn't been that. Now I could have been wrong assuming that. But I feel like you see it occasionally on the field where like he'll hustle and like get the ball, but it's in spurts. It's not like a constant. He's in the right spot at the right time. Like I haven't seen it. Now we have seen players, after a year. I mean, he is what
25.
But how many months into the season are we? Like 6?
August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, 7, 8.
8 months into the season, like you should have adapted by now, but like I don't know, maybe come year 2 he'll develop into where he needs to be. But I kind of agree with Oscar, like he is at the age where like I feel like we should see more out of them. It's frustrating because we keep seeing players like go that we're like, oh yeah, we should move on from Tino. And then when he's gone, I miss having him in the midfield because I think it's been a downgrade, in my opinion, from Tino to what we have this year.
To be honest, this is my exact opinion on this. Like when we had Fizes, and Fizes to me, was it not Feja, not Fizes, Feja. When we had Feja too. Yeah, but Fizes was the left back. When we had Feja as a number 6, the guy was a genius at breaking up play and occupying space, right? That guy was
and he wasn't great passing, but he got rid of it quick.
But he got rid of it as soon as he got the ball, broke the play up, and gave it to the next guy that could actually create the play. That could be taught to Tino because he was great at breaking up play. As soon as you break up play, instead of doing the through balls or long balls that you're trying to do, give it to the guy that can do it right next to you, right? You do your job, which is number 6 is breaking up the play. Don't let those guys next to their defense. And he did a pretty goddamn good job at that. Yep. So to me, Tino was a waste of a sale when we got players triple the price and that can't break up the play. And then that's why we have Arokas creating 5 clear chances to score.
Mm-hmm. It's fair. Do you guys think that it's also a reflection of the moment of the team, right? We go back to, we look at, you mentioned Feja, and we look back at that time frame, right? With JJ, and you had Javi Garcia, you had Witzel, Enzo Perez, right? And you had a good core of center midfielders with good quality, right? Feja wasn't a runner. Javi Garcia wasn't a runner, but like you said, there were guys that read the game well, that occupied space well with and without the ball. But the team at that time was a well-oiled machine. I mean, the team was flying high. You look at Benfica with Roger Schmidt in the first, 8 months of his tenure at Benfica. And again, you had João Mario playing as a right winger when he's not a pacey guy, right? And you had Tino, so you got a lot of pieces that were playing well, maybe even playing better than their quality, because the team and everyone around them was doing well also. So do you guys also see that being a reflection of where the team's at today? Because there's a lot of consistencies. There's been rotation of managers. And I know Mourinho's been here for a long period of time, but nonetheless, he didn't have a preseason, right? It's basically you're learning on the fly. This is really the first phase of the season where you're getting a week in between games. So there's a lot of elements here. Kenny mentioned, year 2. Do you guys see guys like Enzo and guys like Rios, given the quality that you see, right? Not what you're seeing in terms of collective and everything right now, but in terms of individual quality that you've seen, do you think and see that if this team is built correctly and is playing properly at the level that we would expect, that those players could also rise and show a different level of quality because everything around them is also functioning well?
I think it's part of it.
That could absolutely be part of it. Like a lot of teams, when they're playing really well, it's a plug and play. Like Barcelona had it for many years, where like one person got hurt, the other person came in, and you couldn't tell the difference.
I mean, I know we don't like to talk about it, but right, Sporting lost Gio, and Suarez came in, right, and they kept their core, right, and they picked up where they left off. They've had a couple of blips here and there, but like you said, right, plug and play. If the team is doing well and everything around it's doing well, it becomes easier for whoever comes in to just pick up and go.
Right. No, I agree. I agree with that. But like what we're seeing, I'm just not seeing something on those two midfielders that I expected to see. Even if it was not like, I think, shots are not coming off or this is not, but like at least the garra, you should see it no matter if you're playing well or not. You should see it. Like Enzo for me like looks slower than my grandma. Like it's like legit. Like, it's like
but he's like a exception to the South American I guess profile, right? Like you said, the South American has that fire in them, that grit, that getting a challenge. And I agree with you. Enzo seems more of a finesse South American than the typical South American profile. I want you guys to comment on this if you agree. Rui says tactically it's a South American thing. That type of soccer is not very tactical. They're super athletes and very skilled, which in turn you have some players not do so well in Europe. And I mean, we can say it that at Benfica we've had some players that came from South America and didn't pan out. I mean, Everton Cebolinha is one recent one that comes to mind. I know if I sit here for 30 seconds, I could probably think of others, but do you guys agree with that? I don't know how much South American soccer you guys see, but from what you do see, I would agree that the type of soccer is very different.
Yeah.
Do you guys agree with that?
No, I agree that it's a different type of soccer, but we've also seen South American players like have humongous success with Benfica, right? I mean, mostly wingers, I would guess. I mean, but Gaetan was another one that
when you think of center midfielders recently, Enzo Perez.
The Enzos, right?
Enzo Fernandez, yeah.
So it's the type of player, and I don't know. I think that to me, Rios, I think, is a better player than he's showing. I mean, he's a Colombian international. I just think he's been disappointing. I hope that in year 2 he can finally step up. Enzo, I didn't really know much of coming in. I really have not seen the play. I haven't seen much. I mean, he's done well a couple of times with long balls, distributing a little bit, but he's not. I would have much rather preferred Tinu. I think it was a downgrade getting Enzo at this point.
Enzo's on loan as well, right? Is he on loan for a year?
Yeah, but
it's an obligation. Probably.
I believe it's an obligation to buy. And what I read is that they already triggered the requirements that they had for them to trigger the automatic purchase.
Oh, so it's a done deal.
Time will tell, but that's the rumor.
But Mike, to your point about as a team, right? If the team's playing better, these guys will probably show a little bit better. But you've also got to be able, like Luca Bacchio's, every time he steps on the field, to me, is the biggest threat on Benfica. Like he immediately shows an impact, right? So even though Benfica has been struggling, look at Sheldrup too. The kid stepped up. He now showing flair. So you've got to be able to like push that aside and be able to show something. The fact that Rios hasn't been able to do that, and like a Sheldrup has, again, it could be like, it's Sheldrup's third year at Benfica, second full year maybe. Yep. Maybe that's, again, an adaptation thing that Rios might need, but he's also a much younger player. He's like in his, I don't know, is Sheldrup like in his 20s yet even?
I think he's 20, if I'm not mistaken.
So I, like what Oscar said, like this, Rios should be a freaking like in his prime, developed, like there's not much more to do there. Like it's you have it or you don't.
Agreed.
A player of his age, I think I get it when we buy a young player in Brazil or Argentina, whatever. We bring him in from South America and we have to kind of let them adapt. A player of 25, 26 years old, if you bring him in, if you don't adapt in 5 months, it then becomes questionable, is this a good buy? Because then like you're 25, 26, the brain should already be functioning to adapt to different situations or different playing like situations. And if you're not doing it in 6 months, then something is wrong. And then we have an issue here.
I agree with the questioning of if it's the right buy or not. But again, this goes back to what I've talked about in the past, where I think us Benfica fans, and I'll put this all in the same bucket. We have no patience with who we buy, even more so when the price tag is high. That's just the reality of it. Again, we did it with Kokshu. We've done it with numerous amount of players. We do it with Pavlidis. We did it last year until he started scoring goals. And again, that's the expectation, right? Unfortunately, the players don't have a say in what the club transfer fee is for them. They just come with a lot of expectation. And I agree with you. I agree with Kenny in the sense that I believe, because I watched a lot of Palmeiras games last season. I know that Richard Rios is better than what he's shown us. I just hope that we're able to keep him one more year and he's able to have a preseason and he can show the type of player that he is, and we can put him in the right spots with the right structure around him to be able to pull the most out of him. Enzo, I didn't know who the hell he was before he joined, so I can't have an opinion on him other than what I've seen at Benfica. But I think with what we've seen from Auschwitz since he's moved to the center, I'd be surprised if Enzo starts once the squad is fully fit, which raises the question, if that obligation to buy is definitive, that's 20, I think it was 20 million that you're on the hook for. Tinu's the money for Tino will come in at the end of the season as well, because that's a loan for the obligation to buy. Kokshu is another loan with obligation to buy. So there's a kind of one hand washes the other kind of deals going on in this summer. But yeah, it's a tough situation. Rui says, I think Rios belongs at the 10th spot.
Yeah, Mike
mentioned that as well.
Yeah, so I've heard many like Brazilians saying that.
John says 12 for Bernardo, or Jean Bernardo says 12 for Enzo. It might be right. I might be wrong. It might not be 20.
That we're playing Rios in the wrong position. He should be more up the field. Is that? I mean, I didn't see him play outside of the international tournament, but I don't know. What's your opinion? I mean, are we playing in the wrong spot?
I've seen games with Arsenis, Barreiro, Rios. I've seen games with Enzo, Rios and Arsenis. So no, like those three guys can fit into the 6 and the 8 and the 10, right? I've not seen Rios make a play like a 10. Like I've not. He's
also playing further back. So when Barreiro plays, Barreiro ends up playing as a 10 because he's pressing higher.
But I've seen Rios behind the forwards too when he's up there with the ball. I haven't seen him like when you're up there, like he's not sitting at number 6 all the whole game. Like I've seen him pushed up. And when Enzo steps back and he pushes up, I have not seen him make a play like a 10 would, like a Koksu did, like a Sudakov has done when he plays.
Was he a true 10 at Palmeiras?
No, he was an 8. He's box to box. Even on Colombia, he operates as an 8. He doesn't operate as a 10. But again, he's not.
10 takes a lot more than just
Correct.
be a,
He's a futsal guy and he's got good footwork, but he's not. I don't see him. Nor did I see him play as a 10 or on Palmeiras or on Colombia. I think he's more of an 8. He played as an 8 center midfielder with Palmeiras. Again, it's a different style of play, but I'll tell you that when he was at Palmeiras, he was an automatic on the stat sheet. I mean, he was an absolute machine in that midfield. Physicality, but again, the type of soccer is very different as well. It's a different type of ball. It's not the same as it is in Portugal. In Brazil, you're going to have more open play back and forth. Teams don't close themselves down as much and play tight lines and have to break them down. Portugal, apart from 5-6 games in the season, that's what you're facing. You're facing tight lines, no space, and just trying to bang the door down. And sometimes it gets difficult.
That's why we look good. We look good playing Real Madrid, and then we
correct because it's an open game,
right?
Yeah, we can't break them down. Rui says Rios is fast, but doesn't have winger speed. He runs quite a bit, but he doesn't have pulmón to be a box to box. He's great with the ball at his feet and easily pulls the trigger to take shots. That's a perfect 10. I disagree. He is a box to box. I mean, if you watch his history at Palmeiras, he's a box to box. Now, if you want to say a box to box with speed, Enzo Perez wasn't a box to box. Enzo Perez was a box to box, but he didn't have speed.
Not speed, yeah.
Right. But that guy was an absolute workhorse. Again, you don't have to have speed to be a box to box. You have to be tactically disciplined. You need to have good awareness on and off the ball, occupying space. So again, I think we'll see next year what this brings us. I honestly hope that he can stick around and give us one more season because I think he's much better than what we've seen. But time will tell. I am concerned that if we don't finish in the top 2, we're selling, and I think he could be one of those guys that if we get a decent offer, he could be on that list. Rui says Enzo had pulmón. He did. But if you watch the history of Rios, you watch him on Colombia, you watch them on Palmeiras, that guy is an absolute workhorse. And again, I don't think he's shown us everything that he can, but for me, who I've seen him outside of the Benfica lineup, I'm giving you an opinion based on what I've also seen. Enzo had pulmón. Rios, if you go back and watch the games, just go watch some highlights from him at Palmeiras or on Colombia. The guy is an absolute machine. But I agree, he hasn't shown us. I haven't seen that Rios on Benfica yet consistently. I've seen it in spurts, a game here, a game there, but not in a consistent fashion. And I think if he can find that, I think there'll be a lot of people that come around and say, you know what, like he is what people say he was. But again, time will tell.
Can I just
add says, like, he completely disagrees with us. What do you disagree with? Tell me what you disagree with. John says Leo tries to dribble out of the back too much and ends up losing the ball a lot.
I agree with that.
He does that.
Agree with that. Agree. And again, that's part of his profile. That's why I prefer him as an 8 further up the field and not being that first guy to come out and help in that first phase of construction. Kenny, what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say like the roster of midfielders that we have. There's like probably the most like names that we've had in a long time. Like I can remember years where we had like 1 or 2 guys that like stood out and like then we had a clear bench. Where like now we have a rotation of midfielders and we with you know heavy names, heavy price tags, a lot of promise, and we can't find the combination that like is like a solidified midfield. Would you guys agree? I mean,
I feel like we have a lot of those midfielders. Like let's include Silva there, right? Manu, Arsenis, Rios, Herrero. We have a lot of those names, but a lot of them have the same similarities when it comes to like they're very common when all those players like have a lot of stuff in common. We don't have a Tino in there. We don't. Out of all of them, we don't have a pure 6 that the Tino breaking down play. We don't have a pure 10 other than Sudakov who doesn't play anymore, right? So you're talking about those midfield. Everybody else is almost the box-to-box type of players in the middle there. So we have a lot of them, but all of them for almost the same role.
Agreed. Yeah, no, it's frustrating to me because, again, like I've said, like in the past, I feel like we didn't have that many names, right? We had a clear 2 or triangle and like no real bench. Where now we have a freaking plethora of options, and no one can, manage to stick out outside of Barreiro to me, who I think is probably our best option.
Yeah. Rui, if you go again, go back and look. He says Manu is a 6. Manu's a 6 or an 8. He is. He can also play center back. That's where he was formed. He says Rios is not a 6 or an 8. Again, do me a favor. Go look at Palmeiras' games and go look at who was the attacking midfielder for Palmeiras. His name is Rafael Veiga, not Richard Rios. Richard Rios played in a triangle behind Rafael Veiga at Palmeiras. We only have a real 8, and that's Auschwitz. Again, Auschwitz played as an 8 and a 6 at Feyenoord. He also played at left wing for Benfica. So I think
Left back.
And left back.
right? Yeah. So
Maybe
what
Enzo,
is his
maybe
real
Enzo
position?
position to left back.
I wanted to touch on before I go to the Rafa quickly, Ivanovic and Pavlidis. So I was looking at some numbers this season. Pavlidis has 46 appearances versus 35 for Ivanovic. Pavlidis has 37, almost 3,800 minutes versus just under 1,200 minutes for Ivanovic. Ivanovic has 12 starts, 6 goals, 2 assists, which is about 195 minutes per goal. Pavlidis has 28 goals, 6 assists with about 135 minutes per goal. Ivanovic has only played 90 full minutes one time, which was in the Taça against Firenze. In his 12 starts, Benfica's 9-2, 9 wins, 2 draws, because we haven't lost yet this season. And then when you look at his results, so he started the first six games in the league this season for Benfica. In those 6 games, he scored 2 goals and got 1 assist, which is interesting. I didn't realize that. And then if you look at Pavlidis' last games going back to February 1st, we've played 9 games in all competitions. He's got 1 goal in those 9 games, which was against Santa Clara. I don't know if you guys remember that header that he scored. So 1 goal in 9 games is concerning. And again, I've been a huge defender of Pavlidis here last season as well. Kenny's been a super critic of him. I don't know more or less where Oscar stands. I think he might be somewhere in the middle. But you know, Rui said a couple of weeks ago about Anísio, and he brought it up again this week. Where is it? He said, "Oh, you guys trashed me a few weeks ago about this. It probably doesn't start Anísio or Ivanovic just to light a fire under the Greek's ass." I will correct you here. You definitely said Anísio, not Ivanovic. I remember that clearly. You were like, start the kid. And we were like, no, dude, he's still a kid. Don't start. Don't be trying to slide Ivanovic's name in there now.
Yeah, he just tricked you.
But what I want to get at is, given the fact that Pavlidis has gone into a slump, 1 goal in the last 9. Ivanovic came in well against Porto. He only played 25 minutes. He played 16 minutes against Aroca. He has an assist and a goal in the last 2 games. We've got Vitória at the weekend at home. Do you guys see this similar to what we spoke about last week with Prestiani? And, you know, he's agitating the game, but he's not creating assists. He's not creating goals. Ironically enough, he creates the assist this weekend coming off the bench, and Luka Bacchio came in and started for him. But do you guys see this weekend's game being almost like a prize, right? And an appreciation for what he's done, right? He's been super professional. He came with a big price tag. You haven't really heard any stories about him saying, I'm unhappy, fuck this, right? We've seen plenty of players come through our roster who have gone and given interviews for their country with their journalists and had interviews in different languages and created a shitstorm. Do you see this being a good opportunity for someone like Ivanovic to come in, give Pavlidis a break, mental break and physical break, but also give Ivanovic the opportunity to say, you know what, like, here's my chance. I'm going to get the start. And it's against the Vitória de Guimarães, who sits 9th. They're 10 points from, you know, the relegation playoff. So they're pretty secure. They've won 1 game in the last 5. They're coming off 2 defeats. They lost to Famalicão. They lost to Santa Clara. They drew Alverca. They lost to Braga, and they won against Strela. So Kenny, do you see this as a good opportunity for him?
I mean, any other forward would have, you know, been, you know, not benched, but like given a break at this point, right? He's clearly in a slump. I will say I give Ivanovic a lot of credit for a lot of the things you said, right? The professionalism. I mean, he's even been skipped over for the kid to come in. Anísio, right? So like the fact that, you know, when his name has been called, he goes out there regardless. And more
often than not, he's playing left wing. He's not even playing striker.
Correct.
Even another element.
Right. And he's, again, you don't hear a peep from him. And I was happy to actually see him score a goal. I personally don't think he's like, I haven't seen enough of him either, but like, I don't think, he might get the chance and he might not do anything with it. I haven't seen enough to be like, yeah, he deserves.
Correct.
Like,
but he also hasn't played consistently in his position. But
Correct.
He's also a different profile of player because he's more of a guy that picks the ball up. When he's with the ball at his feet, he's very much like a Rafa. Like, I'm just going to go with speed and beat guys. And then he's play the ball into space and I'm going to get onto it. Where Pavlidis is more, I'm going to drop in, link up play, short passes. I've got better feet. Where, again, when we go back to the context of the Portuguese league, his style of play is difficult in 95% of the games that we play.
100%. Yeah. So, I mean, with all that said, I don't see why not. Why not give him a shot? I have been critical of Pavlidis. I haven't seen the same thing that a lot of you guys, despite scoring as many goals, being the leading, I think he's the leading scorer, right? Or is Sporting? Yeah.
No, Suarez is.
Suarez is. He edged them. So, but still, I mean, he has a lot of goals. I still feel like from looking at the games, Pavlidis to me has taken a step back. I don't see the same, like this. It's the tale of two seasons, because at the end of this last year, second half of last year, he turned it on, and at the second half of this year, he's kind of gone ghost mode. So I don't know what's going on with him, but I will say, I saw this coming a while ago. I just haven't seen outside of the PKs, and if you look at how many PKs he scored in the league, half his goals are PKs, or just about half his goals are PKs. So again, yes, you still got to take him, and he is taking them, but his effort on the field has not been impressive to me. So I would give Ivanovic a shot. I mean, he's earned it, I think, for just from the professionalism that he's shown. And I was glad to see him score. I thought it was a pretty good goal too, and a game winner and a good moment for him last game.
That was ballsy for him to shoot that one time.
I'm going to defend Pavlidis for a little bit right now, and I'll tell
you.
All right,
hold on. I'm gonna preface that with Jean Bernardo's question, and I'll let you go into this. Should this be on Pavlidis to earn his spot back if Ivanovic starts this weekend and he has a good performance? Go.
All right. So we had Pavlidis start to perform last year in the second half of the season, and I think was when the team basically started playing for Pavlidis. We had Carreras and Ba both attacking and crossing the ball deep, right? Carreras, Dal does not do what Carreras used to do. We can wish for as much as we want. He does not go down to the line and cross like Carreras used to cross, right? Low crosses for Pavlidis, one touch into the net. And the Deitch, he can fake all he wants up and down the line, but he doesn't do what Ba does, which is a very good cross on deep on the line, right? We have our two wingers, which are off-footed. We have Sheldrup, who's a righty on the left side. Lukabaki, who's a lefty on the right side. Those guys are not going down to the line to cross the ball either. They're faking it in and trying to take shots and creating their chances by coming in and shooting, right? That's what so Pavlidis is a lame duck in the middle there, right? He's creating his own opportunities. He's actually dribbling guys in the box to either get a PK or create a chance to score. He's not getting the team, like I was talking about earlier. The team build is not being done for Pavlidis to score. So that's where I defend Pavlidis and I criticize the team, is because of that. Last year we were playing for him. The fullbacks are coming up and crossing the ball. We saw a lot of Carreras crossing low crosses back to the penalty spot, and Pavlidis just tap it in or shoot it in one timer. We're not seeing that this year, and I think that's a big situation for Pavlidis. That's why he's not performing as well as he was last year at the end.
I have some comments here on Instagram that I forgot to read off. Paulus77 says Pavlidis has been good, not great, especially in comparison to strikers in previous seasons. Ultimamente parece que tem jogado de botas Timberland. Looks clumsy at times. Should we get a good offer for Pavlidis this summer, then he can go. Ivanovic used to play as a second striker at Union Saint-Gilloise. Not sure if he'll suit our play style going forward. What do you guys say to that in terms of looking clumsy? He's been good, not great. And then in terms of if Benfica got a good offer for him, do you think it would be the right decision to let him go? His market value is currently 35 million. What did we pay for him? 20, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. I got it up here. Benfica paid 20 or paid 18 million for him. He had 25 million market value at the time. What do you? I'll go back. I'll start with Oscar this time since he defended him. What do you think of these comments?
If we were to get rid of Pavlidis, I would hope we have somebody that's already a proven striker to come replace him. I wouldn't rely on Ivanovic to be our striker, since he was really never a number 9. He was like the second striker wherever he's played. And I wouldn't rely on our kid to be the number 1 striker right now. So either we get rid of Pavlidis for 35 million, and that's 35 million comes in. I would hope to have a proven striker to back him up. And we're not going to find nowadays a proven striker for 35 million.
35 million out, 35 million in.
I'm just saying, I'm not sure if we're going to find a proven. Like, we're not going to get the lucky that Sporting did with Gyökeres and Suarez in the second division of England.
Yeah.
First of all, we don't have those scouts anymore. So yeah, we're going to probably buy a 35-year-old player that's going to try to retire. Like we got lucky with Jonas. Maybe we can find a Jonas, and then not to make money off of him, but just to give us a campeonato.
I doubt that. Kenny, what do you think? Do you think it would be you think he's another one that could be on that list of if a good offer comes in?
Yeah, I mean,
do you think it depends on Champions League?
Yeah, it depends. I think that's where it depends, right? Who's got the better? If we're not in Champions League, yeah, it depends on who's got the market, and we're gonna have to sell. So whoever gets the higher offer is probably on the way out. I disagree though. I feel like with Oscar's comment about bringing in another. I mean, Pavlidis came in kind of out of nowhere either. Like I feel like we've been okay at finding strikers.
You criticized for half the season the first time.
No, but I didn't criticize him last year. I'm criticizing his form.
Yeah, you did. The first half of the season, you bitched that the guy didn't sit his ass.
No, but I'm saying last year he came on really well. I was happy with the signing last year. But starting this season, like watching him throughout the season, I did not see the same player. Yes, he was scoring goals, and everyone was like, "Oh, look at all the goals." But like I didn't see the same players last year. Now. I was listening to what you were saying about we're not playing for him. That could be part of the problem. I didn't even think about that. Like that could actually be part of the problem. I never thought he was a big threat in the air. So crossing the ball.
Yeah.
Well, I know what you mean. Low crosses to
back, cutting them back, and he's perfect at that because that's what Carreras and Ba do pretty good.
Right, but I think Benfica has had a pretty decent track record at finding forwards that have been impact. Like Darwin came out of nowhere. Pavlidis sort of came out of nowhere. Like, Jonas came out. I feel like we could find someone to replace him. I think it's a lot easier to find a replacement forward than to find the struggle that we've had at midfield over the past few seasons, finding actual decent players for the midfield versus finding another forward. So, I mean, we'll see.
How many goals do you think Pavlidis has? How many header goals do you think he has at Benfica in 103 appearances?
Well, his last goal in 9 games was a header, so there's one. So I'd probably say maybe
he's got 103 appearances, 58 goals. How many goals do you think are headers?
I'm gonna say
10,
5.
Kenny was close. 7.
Well, we're between.
Well, you were 3 away, and you went over. This is like Price is Right.
I mean, and the kid has started. Not even started. The Anizio played little minutes, and he has 2 goals by headers.
Yeah, he's got 3 this season against Moreirense, Estrela, and Santa Clara. He had 4 last season. Which again, I think we all know he's not an aerial threat. Which is what it is. Not every striker is. Gio wasn't an aerial threat either.
Exactly, and I'm not knocking his game. Like his game is the being at the right spot, tap in type of game, and he's good at it. But when it's not there, I don't see what else he can bring. Like again, like sometimes you're gonna have to be a bully in the air and win a header. He doesn't. Crosses, like we had 15 crosses. I don't think he got a header on any of them. Like, how can that be that our forward can't get a header on those? Like, you got to be able to adapt that way.
Fair.
Do you think this is probably a crazy question, but do you think we'll be better off if we had Seferovic instead of Pavlidis this year?
I don't know, because Pavlidis does a lot of work linking up play.
But we're not linking up any play.
But he links up a lot of play in between, but then he's not in the box to finish the opportunities. Right. That's the problem, right? Whereas Seth was able to link up play.
And he was an aerial threat.
Correct. But I don't think we'd be better off with someone like Seth this year over Pavlidis.
Just remember, Seth didn't take PKs, so take away the PKs from Pavlidis and
correct. But then who scores those PKs instead of Pavlidis? He's got 12 this season.
Well, this year.
Yeah, who takes them?
I'm not sure.
Well, you're saying that's what I'm saying. So there's 12 goals.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying.
You've got to replace 28 goals.
We have to replace
saying,
but the 12 goals that PKs, just the PKs could have been somebody else taking them. Just saying, correct. Like Arsene couldn't take them, or whatever it is. Like I'm not saying like
the penalty. I think the last penalty he took.
Yeah, so probably did miss one too. He put it like against Inter. What was
that? Yeah, he slipped.
Juventus.
Our Paulo says it won't be easy to find a replacement, but we always manage to source someone. O que interessa muitas vezes é bom sistema de jogo. Até o Seferovic e Carlos Vinícius marcavam muito in More Stars. There you go. Is this your burner account?
I have no idea. Lima too, right? Like he came in.
He was a good. Yeah.
Another one. I mean, when Darwin left, we worried about who's gonna replace all those 30 plus goals that Darwin hit, and we were able to find someone. I'd like to go back to what you were saying, Mike, like, because I think that is a problem with Pavlidis, where like people see the positive in like, oh, he works a lot to go get the ball and link play, right? But to me, I do see that as a negative, because he isn't when we need him in the box, he's not there, right?
Who do you blame that on?
Right. So that I was gonna ask you the same.
Are you gonna ask me that?
But I was gonna also say, like, what do you guys think about, since Ivanovic was a second forward, what about putting him in there and playing both of them together?
And taking I thought about that today. I thought about that.
I've said that as well. I would even put put Pavlidis behind Ivanovic.
No, I wouldn't.
Instead of Ivanovic.
I think if Rafa is a one-dimensional player, he is. You get the ball to his feet and he just goes. Forward. He reminds me of. I hope he's not listening. He reminds me of Speedy when we played with him. It's head down and straight forward, right? Yeah. And then he gets a shot on net, or he cuts it back with a heel and tries to the 3-0. That's his game. That's like you get him an open play, and Rafa can probably take off and score, right? But Ivanovic is a guy that can hustle around the whole box,
side to
side, hustle around, cross the ball, shoot the ball, get in the end to finish. And I think it would be a better option to give him a try for both of them to play together. And I think Pavlidis would probably benefit from having Ivanovic around him.
And he can stay in the box.
Yeah, I think the bigger benefit in that, in my opinion, is Ivanovic then gives you that late run into the box that we talked about last week. We don't have many midfielders that make those late runs into the box to score goals of those pulled back crosses. So he would give you that option. The reason I say I would switch them and put Pavlidis behind Ivanovic is because Pavlidis is better with his feet and playing with his back to goal. So he's able to receive the ball and distribute and lay it off to the team as they come forward. Whereas Ivanovic, we've seen him when he plays out on the left. It's almost like he's got two left feet. I don't know if it's because he's not comfortable with the ball at his feet. He's very much a north to south kind of guy. That could also be confidence and playing more, right? That could be another element to it. But I agree. I think it's more than time for why not test the two of them.
What do you lose defensive? Like, do you lose anything by doing that? Like, what do you think you lose?
I don't, depending on who's the other midfielders, right? I think Rafa doesn't give you anything defensively anymore. I was watching him this weekend, and Rafa used to be one of those guys that would press the shit out of that first line of creation for the opposing team. And even that, he's not doing very well. So, I mean, Rafa doesn't come back and help defend. So I don't think you're losing anything there. I think potentially you expose yourself against some teams But it also flips the script on the other side, where it's like, okay, I'm an opponent, and I've got Pavlidis who's going to drop into the midfield, and I've got Rafa who's very one-dimensional, right? So for a certain point, I'm pretty comfortable with Pavlidis, right? Because I'm going to let him roam. Rafa, we just got to break up play, right? And he gets fouled constantly in our midfield because they just pull him back and kill the play. Now you've got Pavlidis and Ivanovic, and you say, okay, hold on. We're going to let Pavlidis drop in between lines to link up play. But now we've got to worry about Ivanovic, who's going to occupy that space and behind us when he's gone. Now we've got to alter how we play, right? Because now we got, okay, we're going to let him go, but then we got to. So it forces them to think a little bit differently. But also Ivanovic gives you a different physicality that Rafa doesn't give you, right? Now the cross is into the box. Now you got to be like, shit, now we got a big bull coming at us, opposed to only on set pieces. You've got an Otamendi up there, or you got an Antonio Silva. Apart from that, who in the offensive third during the run of play, open play, is a bully in the box?
You don't have
no one. Right. So as an opposing defender, you're like, fuck yeah, keep sending them in.
Yeah.
Right. We'll take our chances. We took 15 corner kicks this weekend.
Yeah.
And we had our center backs up there and we didn't create shit. And our probably one of our shorter guys on the field scored a header and didn't even have to jump. Right. So those are the things that I think we win and lose. I don't know, Oscar, if you see it differently.
No, I agree. I agree. Totally agree with that. I think it's not like I love Rafa. You guys know that I defend Rafa.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
but he's not the same Rafa that he was when he left.
For this system, it doesn't work as they used to work with the Pizzi's and the João Maris of the world, because they played together and it kind of linked up pretty well. Now with this system, it doesn't work that way. So Rafa maybe needs to sit, and we have to try the Ivanovic and Pavlidis together and see how they mesh up together in the front, because it could change up. Like you said, I agree with you. It could change up the whole mindset of the defenders and benefit us. So I totally agree with that.
Oh, yeah, we've got 8 games left. I'm curious to see. I don't see him doing that now, but who knows? I mean, Mo's surprised us a variety of other times. We're coming up on an hour. I wanted to quickly talk about. Go ahead.
No. I was going to say, are we going to bring up Sydney or no?
That was one of the topics that I had. And so I guess we could start with that, and then we'll go to the race for second place. So Sydney, since that game against Real Madrid where he asked for Vinny Jr.'s jersey, I don't think we've talked about it here. But he asked for Vinny Jr.'s jersey. It created a huge shitstorm for people because of everything that happened with Vinny. He, since that game, if I'm not mistaken, he hasn't played. I can pull it up, but I'm almost positive he hasn't played again.
I don't think so.
For Benfica, or he may have been on the bench once, but he didn't play, and then he hasn't even been on the bench the last 3 or 4 games. I'm just pulling it up here. So Real Madrid. Let me just see all competitions. So the Real Madrid game was 225. So February 25th. Since February 25th, he was on the bench against Gil Vicente, not in the squad against Porto, not in the squad against Aroca. He's not injured. I'll share my thoughts on this, and then you guys can chime in. I spoke to a couple of friends about this. What are you going to say, Kenny?
Was that before or after Rafa joined the team?
After.
Okay.
Yeah, Rafa already.
He's played when Rafa played.
Yep.
Okay.
Listen, he's a 23-year-old player. He's a 23-year-old player that was in the Dutch youth systems, U21s, U19s for Twente. He was at Cologne in Germany. He ended up at Estrela da Amadora, finds himself at Benfica. And again, as you can imagine, this is a massive jump for someone like him. He was born in the Netherlands. He's Cape Verdean. I don't know what his upbringing was like, but nonetheless, he's a 23-year-old at the Santiago Bernabeu against Real Madrid, and everyone's got their idols. I get that the situation happened with Vinny and what unfolded sucked. Could he, like Mourinho said, could he have avoided that situation? Yes, he could have asked him in the tunnel. Would it have gone over well with the locker room? I don't know. I'm not in there to share that opinion, but it seems to me that he's now been punished for that because, ironically enough, he's not on the bench the last 2 games. He was on the bench against Gil Vicente, but he's not been seen since. Now, Could this be because we've got more players available to us and Mourinho doesn't see him fit? But then again, he went and got him in January, right? So it's not like he was a player he inherited. He was a player that he went to go get, or at least on his watch, he went to go get. So what I'm getting at is, if this is a suspension or he's being reprimanded for what happened, I hate that, if I'm being honest. Could he have avoided it? Yes. But I feel like we have to contextualize the whole situation. It was very much avoidable. I could see maybe having a conversation with him. You're young, right? You're going to make mistakes. Prestiani made a mistake, right? The extent of that mistake we'll never know, but he made a mistake. Okay. Just like every other young player makes mistakes, big ones, small ones. This was his mistake, his first time at this level. I think maybe having a conversation, listen, you could have avoided it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This will come with experience. This will come with time, and you move on. The fact that Benfica spent $6 million on him in January, and if in fact this is a reprimand of sorts because of what happened, I absolutely hate it, because it's just another way to burn an asset. It's another way to burn a player, just because you're trying to send a message without context. I've seen other people like ban him. He should never play. But if you could, like, I can't think that way. I'm not that extreme, if I'm being honest. But that's the way I look at it. I hate it. I hate it if that is in fact what's happening. It might not be the case, but looking on the surface, that's what it looks like. That's what the media is trying to make it look like it is. We know the media likes to twist and turn things sometimes, but that's what it looks like for me, and I hate it. I don't know who wants to go first, Kenny or Oscar.
I'll be quick. I think I agree to the most part of with what you said. I think this became more of a Vinny versus Benfica thing, and I think because that happened in the first game and they gave us a week to kind of think about it, I think it was really stupid on Cabral. If Cabral did it in the first game still like shit, like maybe I wasn't thinking straight, he's my idol, but it's a week later and the whole media is about Benfica's a racist because Vinny said this, Benfica's this, Benfica's that. So basically put us against them type of thing. And for our guy to go to his guy, the main culprit of this, to say, can I have your shirt? Because it's almost saying, I'm taking your side on this soap opera. Yeah. I'm taking your side instead of my team.
That's what it looks like to the fans, yeah.
Right. It's almost it was a slap in the face to the fans and to the locker room. So I don't know what happened in the locker room right after that game, because it probably didn't come out. But I guarantee Otamendi was not happy with it.
Because he didn't end up taking the shirt. So I wonder if someone said something to him.
I almost guarantee the locker room became a yelling match between those players. And I guaranteed words were said that made Mourinho sit him.
And that's possible too. It could have. So it might not have been a Mourinho decision. It could have been a lot.
Right. That's what I was going to ask. Do you think it was a Mourinho, or do you think, or is it from higher above?
I don't think Mourinho is a Paul Mandado. I don't think he's the type of guy that's like, Costa told me to sit him. I think Mourinho. So
but didn't he defend him, or didn't he kind of excuse him in?
He said he could have avoided it. Right. But he didn't rake him through the coals in the press conference.
Well, right. But he shouldn't do that. But he could have avoided it. Means somebody was not happy inside that locker room that he did that. Like, and for him to come and say he could have avoided it is because he did something wrong. Right.
Correct.
And because Otamendi is a captain and Prestiani is probably his little baby in that locker room.
Yeah, they're very close.
100%.
So I'll tell you right now, like, it was a locker room, probably war zone after the game against Cabral for doing that.
I didn't think about it that way.
But as teammates though, would you flip like that so quickly? Like, why couldn't you just like be like, bro, like, what happened last game? Why would you, like, you would think that they would be able to talk that out without being like it all depends against Cabral now.
It all depends how it escalated, right? It could have been an easily, a few words back and forth. Yeah, no, that's a mistake. Don't do that. We're a team, and by you doing that, basically you're putting yourself on that side or agreeing with him, and basically saying my player's at fault or our player's at fault. It's not like it could not necessarily what Cabral thinks. It's the image he puts out by going to the guy that basically started this whole thing, the told on Prestiani, saying, like, hey, listen, can I have your shirt because I want your shirt. Like that's if we did it to anybody else, I think would have been totally fine. But he went right to Vinny, which
Agreed.
is the worst person to do it for.
I mean, I guess we just like we don't know what Cristiani actually said. We'll never know.
Or maybe we'll know at some point if he leaves.
But like, could it also be? And this is a stretch too. But could Mourinho be protecting him from like putting him out there and the fans booing him and even like burying him even more, and bringing it into the news?
I don't think the fans hate him for that. I think the fans weren't upset that he did that, but I don't think it's something like
they were. No, I saw a lot of comments that were like, sell him
never,
now.
Never wear a
play
Benfica shirt again.
Yeah, he got thrown by the fan. I saw many comments.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sitting him on the not even sitting him on the bench, putting him on the bleachers, that's a big stretch.
Especially since this weekend we only had Cristiani as a winger on the bench.
Yeah. So
right, and he's a guy that can play on the wing. But
I just feel like it's hard. It's hard. Like Mourinho clearly had an affection for him because he was playing him. He wasn't option.
And he signed him.
Right? And now to completely just turn on him, I feel like these guys, players and coaches have a much better relationship. That one thing like that's going to just flip. Like, I'm not talking to you again.
We just don't know the extent of the conversation after that moment, so we don't know. Right. It could have been Sydney flipped out and said, "I think you're racist."
Yeah,
it
could. I mean, there's so many scenarios.
And him saying that to Prashant in the locker room is basically saying you're X'd out.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of elements. I just hate if it just was the fact that he asked for the shirt. I hate that there's a repercussion if that is in fact what it is. If there was more to that, then I can't really have an opinion because I don't know. Again, like Oscar said, it could have been the locker room. The fact that he asked for it and then didn't end up taking it leads you to believe that someone said something, right? Whether it was a teammate, whether it was someone in the staff, whatever. Someone said something or else he would have taken it, obviously, because he asked for it. What was said is the question mark. Who said it? What did they say? When did they say it? And what happened after that, I guess, is the big question mark. I'm assuming time will tell. But again, Mourinho signed this guy. So it's not like he's not a player that he inherited. And it's just like, all right, see you later. I don't need you. He signed him for a reason. And now he doesn't play. I'll be curious to see if he is on the bench this weekend against Vitória, but time will tell. It's another incognito of, are we ever going to find out what happened? But I don't know if we will, unless he leaves.
So did he apologize like on Twitter or something?
I think he posted something, if I'm not mistaken. It might have been on this story.
Because I'm trying to Google it right now too, because I thought I saw something like he apologized, but I don't know if that was like a fake or.
Yeah, had to apologize to the squad, having asked Vinny for his jersey. Record reported it that he realized some of the they said he realized some of the teammates were unhappy and he apologized to the squad.
So that kind of confirms some players will definitely flip out on him.
Yeah, and again, the fact that he said that he didn't end up taking it, someone said something. Our Paulo77 on Instagram says should have never bought Sydney, especially in a long term. Showed some good moments, but ultimately não tem qualidade suficiente para vestir o manto sagrado. I will admit I didn't know him while he was at Silva Amadora. What I've seen from him at Benfica seems average, but again, he's only played a handful of games. I don't know if you guys have seen anything that stands out, but again, he's still young and still early in his career.
Who's he's like a free kick taker too, pretty
left and right.
Yeah. I think he's a valuable player. I think he can grow into the team. If we give him Rio 6 months at 25 years old
correct. That's what I mean. He's still young in his squad and in his career.
Damn, 3 games into the team, and we're just.
That's what I'm saying. Like back to what I said at the beginning, the fuse for Benfica fans in terms of waiting. Right, you've got a very small tolerance. Like it's either now or never. See you later. You got to move on. Quickly to close this out. Benfica's still, thankfully for that goal, where we're still in the race for second place, and Sporting having postponed their match. We're even on points with 62. We've got a game in hand. Sporting doesn't play their game in hand, I believe, until after they play, or we go play them at Alvalade, which is month or so away.
Is that on
quickly,
purpose?
they postponed it because of the Bodo game.
No,
In terms of the
but
rescheduling, I think it
it's-
just happened to be the
Okay.
timing of it because they had Champions League. I think if they didn't get through, they probably would have moved the game up because they would have gotten some days back. But they've also got Porto in the Taça de Portugal coming up. So,
Oscar, do you want
with
to give
that-
them any props for their comeback victory?
I'll tell you right now, Porto loses against Braga next week.
Yeah, no,
so
I'm talking about.
So you're still optimistic of the
That's
the podium.
that if we do our part, we're 4 points.
Dude, this is the this is a
wait
new
for them to
Oscar. Normally he's like,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
fuck that, we're gonna get relegated. Fuck these guys.
Can't wait for them to break your heart.
He's
No,
still he started talking about remember the cliff? He started talking about the
Yeah,
cliff
yeah.
again last week. You weren't
that's-
here.
I thought
quick-
give it
Quickly,
No, but Colo Club Portugal, are they like? Do you want to give them some props for their comeback?
against Bodo.
against the
I mean,
Bacalhaus.
I would give us. I would not
No
let
matter
them.
who, no
I
matter who
would
it is,
not
that's a
let
pretty.
I would not let them sleep if they got eliminated by them.
Tell us the truth. How many messages did you get on Facebook from Sergio?
A lot. I got a lot of like emojis with Come Kenja as a fucking guy. The coaches of Kenja eater, whatever it is, Come Kenja.
I thought about that this morning. I'm like, dude, he must have set Oscar's messenger on fire last night.
Did you respond at all?
No, I say good job.
He conceded. White flag. He didn't want to debate with him this time. He just conceded automatically. That's good. Paulo77 says Rio se titular na Colombia, different gravy. Sydney was playing third division in Germany. He was. So it's been a quick climb. But Oscar, I'll start with you. Quickly, give me your thoughts on this race for second place. Do you think the fact that they've got a game in hand now plays a psychological advantage or disadvantage for us, since we could potentially go to Alvalade tied on points, which could put pressure on them, could put pressure on us? But where do you think we stand now with the race for second place? I'm not even going to talk about first place, but if you still feel optimistic about that, you can give us your thoughts.
Like I talked about this last week. I think we have the hardest schedule out of all three. Like the hardest schedule in the left, we have it. Porto is probably the easiest. So if they lose this Campeonato, and they don't have to face any Sporting or Benfica anymore. So if they lose this Campeonato, that's a big fucking like legit cliff. That's what I call a cliff. But Sporting, because we still face them, and they now have to play another 2 legs of Champions League against Arsenal. That will take a toll on their legs. They have to make up a game, which is another benefit for us. So if we can with fresh legs, not out of all the cups, we're out of everything like this.
They've got 3 more games than us right now with Porto Taça and 2 Champions League games.
Correct. So, and that's around the time that we're going to play them. So
I think they've got Porto, Benfica, and Arsenal in a row, if I'm not mistaken.
So is around the time that we're playing them, they have all those games in between. So like, I think if we don't take advantage of this and at least tie them in points and then put them pressure, and then if we actually beat them, then we're tied in points and they still have the.
But we have the advantage. We have
if we beat them, then we have 3 points advantage, and then they have to make up that game.
Correct. They still have, but if they win the makeup game, they're even on points. But we have the head-to-head.
Correct. But if we win the games and we beat them, we'll be 3 points up until they make up the game.
Yep. Yeah.
Right. So. But yeah, we still have a tough games. We still have Braga away and blah 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 blah. So Braga home or away, one of those.
Braga's at home. We lost. We tied to them away.
All right. Yeah. So we have a tough schedule, but if we have a lot, like Mourinho complained about a lot of games and a lot of tired legs and all that. That's not an excuse anymore. Now, do your part, win your games, and if we win out, I can. If we win now, I say right now we're champions.
You don't think we're gonna have another tie after having?
I'm saying if we're probably gonna have another 3 losses. But if we win now, we're champions.
Why? We haven't even lost. We haven't lost all season.
Yeah.
What do you think we're gonna lose yet?
Because like the Porto game, we should have been a loss, even though we could have won because the PK didn't call. Right. The Sporting game, another one that we could have lost. Like we had a few. This one we could have been a game that we tied again. Like, we had a lot of them that were tight games where we just pulled it off. Right,
Kenny, let optimistic Oscar live his best life right now.
it's like
our Paulo 77 says que Deus te ouça, Oscar, and he says os lagartos vão arranjar maneira de fazerem o reschedule ao jogo contra nós. Mark my words. And what I was getting at is Sporting's they've got 2 league games, Alverca away, Santa Clara at home. Then they've got at home against Arsenal, away to Stadilla, away to Arsenal, home to Benfica, away to Porto for the Taça. 3 massive games for them in a row.
And they play Arsenal before they play us.
And they
correct.
The only one they might beat is us.
So hopefully morale is all-time low.
And that's what Paulo's saying is, given the fact that they're still in Champions League, they did just reschedule their weekend game. He said ainda vão arranjar maneira de fazer o reschedule do jogo com Benfica because they've got Porto for the Taça and Arsenal for the league. Or for the Champions League.
But Benfica will have to agree, right? I think the Benfica will go through the same thing with Porto, and Porto didn't agree, so we had to play it.
That's what I believe is the case. But listen, we've seen some crazy shit happen in the Portuguese league. I mean, you got people suspended, and then you go ask some judge at the TAD, and then he says, okay, we're going to suspend the suspension. You can play. We'll figure it out later. So who the hell knows? He says, in the name of helping the Portuguese teams in Europe, the federation will help. Who the hell knows at this point? I don't know what the hell the rules are in the Portuguese league.
Isn't Palhinha's still under review or something?
There's still a piece of paper on someone's desk to figure out if that should be suspended or not.
He should be suspended, yeah.
Meanwhile, Benfica just put in a request for Mourinho's suspension to see if they can suspend it.
Oh, we already got an answer?
They were like, nope. So then they just put another one in, I believe, to the TAD to see if they can suspend it, to see if he could be on the bench against Vitória. But they're probably going to be like, no, we're not going to do that. But who the hell knows? So Oscar's confident, second place, still optimistic about first place. And then Kenny's going to bring us down to reality. What do you think here, Kenny?
I'm not on board. I think we finish in third place. I think Sporting is actually has done really well this year, and I do have to give them their props. But I'm not confident.
Is Paul sitting across from you off screen with like a weapon holding to your head? That.
And I didn't have any St. Patrick's Day green bears or anything. Like I'm not like greened up or anything.
Just confirming.
No, none of that. I don't remember when I got off the train. It
was like a month ago.
Yeah, I haven't got back on, and I'm glad I haven't because there's been a lot of ups and downs, and I have not gone through that. I set my expectations. I don't expect much from Benfica this year. They are exactly who I've thought they were, Pavlidis included, and that just is what it is. It's one of those seasons where they're just not going to pull anything out. I actually am like, in a weird way, like this whole thing that Benfica is still undefeated. Like that's like the only thing that like the commentators like stick to. Oh, Benfica. Yeah. Like it's so annoying that's like the only thing positive about this season is that we're undefeated.
Meanwhile, we're in third place.
And we're in third place. Like I almost like wish we would like just lose the game. So like that's also out the door because every 15 minutes I have to be reminded, but we haven't lost the Mourinho ainda não perdeu jogo, blah, blah. Like so annoying. Like it's like it's so little team of, like equipes pequenas. This is what Sporting would fucking put their leg on is like, we're still undefeated. Like, is that what we're stooping to that level? Like, come on. Well, I don't have any hope for this team. I just think they are, what they are, which is third place, and that's it.
Hopefully you're wrong. Hopefully the footy gods listen to Oscar. Not Kenny, but we'll find out in a month and a half. Yeah, that's all we've got. Oh, quickly, I wanted to get 30 seconds. I don't know if you saw the plays, but I believe Oscar did. One, referee's performance this weekend. There was a push on Dahl. I don't know if you guys saw it early in the first half. Someone got taken out, and the referee comes over and like shoves Dahl out of the way.
Yeah. The referee shoves Dahl, yeah.
Which is absolutely ridiculous. And then Antonio Silva's yellow card. The referee has a yellow card in his hand. He's going to give it to maybe, I think it was Rios. And Antonio literally is like he was waiting for him in the rearview mirror. As soon as he like got close enough, he just turned around.
And he's the captain. He's the captain.
Antonio was like, "Bro, I'm the captain.
Right.
I'm just coming over to talk to you." But you could tell it was like almost he was anticipating it.
Right.
What do you guys have to say to that?
I think that's bullshit.
I think the refs like have proven over and over again they're incompetent. They really like they shouldn't be in. I don't know who the hell's paying these people or not. Like this is ridiculous. Some of the, like I told you at the beginning of this podcast, I don't know the rules anymore. I don't know what's a yellow card. I don't know what's a red card. I saw a step from Porto player this weekend that legit like
almost, I do.
And that's a yellow. But if it was but I saw a player I think it was a Benfica forward or whatever it was last year that skid over the ball and hit the guy's leg. Yeah. And that's a red.
Ba had one in Braga as well. He got a red card.
Yeah, I just don't know anymore what the hell the rules are, like what the reds mean, what the yellows mean. The refs are a joke. That yellow to Antonio Silva to me was like the most ridiculous yellow. Yeah. The guy was running towards the ref to talk to him.
I don't think he even had a chance to say anything. You got a yellow card right away.
As a captain, you should be able to do that. I will say that I do think it was a PK. Like, yes, there's a lot of inconsistencies as what is a PK or not, but I do think that was a PK.
The first one? Yeah, it's unfortunate.
No. I'm not saying it's not a PK.
The problem is the inconsistency because we had one at Porto 100%. Earlier this season that didn't get called.
100%. Yeah, we saw the same exact calls with the arm extended, and because it was too close, it was not called.
That's the thing. It's so subjective. It's subjective of does the referee think it's too close or not too close? Is there a deflection? But again, that one gets called a PK. There's one against Porto early in the season. I can't remember if it was in the Taça game or if it was in the league. Where the guy's his arm is off his body and he's at a bigger distance and they didn't call it, right? So again, like you said, Oscar, I don't know what the hell the rules are anymore. If it's a deflection, if it's too close, if it's too fast.
And then from what I understand is if it's straight off the arm, it could be called a PK. But if it's deflected off your
deflection,
body, But Antonio Silva's first half of the season where the ball got shot.
I think it was against Aroca. I think it was against Aroca too, and they got a penalty.
I think that game we tied because of that PK was too we were winning 2-0.
But yeah, I remember hit his stomach and then hit his arm.
Correct, and then that's a PK. So just don't know.
It's subjective, unfortunately. It just depends on who's sitting in the booth and who's got the whistle in their hand. R. Paulo says, meanwhile, Hulman does all he pleases. Too many instances to name. I agree. Like if you watch that guy, he is constantly in the referee's ear, and never gets a yellow card.
He's spitting in the ref's face.
Dude, it's brutal.
He can't even get a yellow.
Against Bodo in the first leg, first time he opened his mouth, the referee gave him a yellow card. He must have been like, hold on a second. This doesn't happen at home. What the hell are you doing? It's the Portuguese league, unfortunately, and the referees, and it's super inconsistent, which is frustrating. At least if you're going to be inconsistent, be inconsistent across the board and have the same inconsistencies, but unfortunately it's not the case. With that said, we've said a lot. Thank you everyone that was tuning in. We've got some new names on here. We had some good amount of views. Gentlemen, as always, it was a pleasure. We'll be back next week, hopefully with a victory against Vitória, and hopefully we'll be continuing our race for
a little closer.
For some of us, second place. Yeah. For others, we still got a chance. We're still within reach of that top spot in the podium. Again, I'm with you, like Paulo says on Instagram, Deus Diosa. Let's hope that does come true, but we'll find out soon enough. Gentlemen, have a good evening, and as always, viva o Sport Lisboa Benfica. Good night.
Good night, guys.
Good night, boys.